Who's here?
Sam is here.
Yeah. Burberry scars, shrimp and Perry on. Living like a comet, moving amongst the stars. $100,000 sports cars, silk massage, menage a trois. Yes, I've been a boss. Sauntering, Maitre D staying flabbergasted. Her ass about the size of an infant's casket.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show that won a PWI Lifetime Achievement Award for Worst Instagram Handle Ever. The podcast that is made for wrestling fans by, well, maybe some assholes, but definitely wrestling fans. Welcome to Top Rope Wrestling Talk. And welcome to damn, Rewind's already here. Ted, I'm guessing what's happening, homie.
Happy birthday, Alvarito! Whoop whoop!
Alvarito, happy birthday! Damn, I can't even get into the
happy
welcomes.
birthday, brother.
That's
My man just
beautiful.
turned
I love
38,
you guys.
y'all.
Y'all are
Putting you
making
on
a
blast,
man feel
38.
special, showing up in the live chat. 38, that's a big year. I remember that year. It was a while ago.
It was like 5 minutes ago. What
I
are
don't
you
want to
talking
talk
about?
about it.
Me either.
I want to talk about
back to the intros. Happy birthday, homie. And of course, joining us as always is the first lady of Top Rope Wrestling Talk. She is the whole ass vibe. The ninth wonder of the podcasting world, because we don't treat her like a woman, but we damn sure don't treat her like a man.
Yes, we do.
She is the one and only, the presidential candidate, Grandma Wendy. What happened to my soundboard? What is going on? There we go.
There it is.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying. We are the cheat, we steal. We are the cheat, we steal. Mama, sit down.
Oh, shit. And then there's me. There's me. Not DDP, but the greatest group champ in Top Rope history. I am your producer, your soundboard, by God, blee, 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 extraordinaire. The jack of all trades, the master of absolutely none. The South Philly psycho himself, D.O.M.
We had no problem
Oh, my
finding
bad,
his music.
Alvarito. It was 39. Happy birthday again, 39. Fuck.
Hell yeah.
Well, fuck it. You only live once. Let's fucking go. Oh, I gotta stop that before we get in trouble.
So good every time, though.
And no episode of Top Rope Wrestling Talk would be complete without the founder of Top Rope Wrestling Talk. He is the high-class one. He is the man we have lovingly referred to in the past on this show as MJF's dad. But he is also the biggest MJF mark you will ever fucking meet.
Good chance. Good chance.
The man with the Burberry scarf and the majestic beard. The one and only, because they literally blew up the mold when they made him.
That's fucking right.
Bruce.
And you know it, I'm better than
Yes, I am.
And he knows it.
Yes, I do.
See?
I was being suspense there, Brucey. I was like,
I know. I was
That's why you don't snack before the intro.
finishing up my crackers.
I
My
let
bad.
it.
You know, I had to have a snack before the show, and I waited right before we came on live.
Like 2
So
minutes.
there's been some stuff that happened this week. I mean, it wasn't really like a jump out week for me, really. Like, I mean, there was some great stuff that happened and you know, some cool stuff. But I don't know. I really didn't see anything that was like, wow, let's talk about this for hours. So And the fact that I worked 50 hours and over 50 hours in 4 days, you know.
Well,
That's
yeah, they'll
mind-blowing,
do it
man.
too.
I'm exhausted just hearing that. Like, ugh.
I've been there and I feel exhausted on your behalf. So
Lord.
So this first segment, I named it. Said what? So as a lot of people know, Booker T stepped back in the ring for his promotion that he owns and runs in Houston, Texas. He goes on. Booker T tweets. Got to step back in the ring last night at Reality of Wrestling, and it felt good. And then this dude, Big Sean Dub, comes on and comments back. He goes, "Oh, okay. So you and your brother finally gonna accept Dax FTR and Cash Wheeler's challenge?" Booker T replies, "If they stop running." Whoa. One of the best tag team wrestlers that ever walked the face of the earth had a reply. That man was Dax Harwood. He
good
said,
old
"Book."
Uncle Dax.
He said, "Book, have you seen my abs? Me either. I ain't running nowhere."
Nope.
So,
Man ain't running. He's here.
so with this being said, do you actually think a Harlem Heat FTR match could happen with Booker T working for WWE still? Now, I think if this does happen, I think Stevie Ray's gonna hurt Wheeler, Dax, or Cash. I never really saw Stevie Ray as a safe worker.
Not really.
But I could see him getting hurt, and because I really don't know if Stevie Ray can go anymore.
Yeah, that was my bigger concern. Was like, we know Booker T's been around, and obviously he's
Yeah.
recently been in the ring, and he looked good in his match, and that's all well and good. But there are two people in Harlem Heat, and Stevie Ray has not been seen in a ring since basically WCW folded
5 ever ago.
22
Mhm.
years. So what kind of condition is he in? Is he still able to work? You know, like Booker T answered these questions.
Yeah.
Stevie Ray, on the other hand, is still slightly sus.
Yeah, slightly.
I'm trying to be nice because the guys, because Harlem Heat is a legendary tag team, regardless. You know, they're in the WWE Hall of Fame for a reason, and Stevie Ray never even showed the fuck up. So I'm trying to be nice, and
It's
this
true.
match, if it could go off, would be considered, at least in my opinion, a dream match. But I can't see it happening.
Oh yeah, like the dream match we didn't know we needed.
You got to now stop and think about this dream match that we all want to see. You know, I'm still on the fence about. Where would it be held? It wouldn't be held in WWE. Couldn't be held in AEW or ROH. The only place it could be done is that's the only place it can be done.
Yeah.
That's all I got, or another indie show or something like.
But
you couldn't use a major platform for this because of contractual obligations. So it would have to be like Booker T's promotion or Backyard or bust.
Here's the real question. Would FTR really want to do that match for him in Reality of Wrestling and give his company that big of a push because of all the negative stuff Booker's always saying about AEW and what they do over there?
See, there is that too.
You know?
I mean, there's a lot of snags.
But I wouldn't see it as like a push for Booker though, because it could also bring attention to the wrestlers of the promotion themselves, and it's something that they probably don't get a lot of. I mean, I personally don't know who is in that promotion, so it would be awesome to like bring attention to that promotion. Be like, hey, so Booker T and his shit mouth may be running it, but this is the talent that's here. Come look, come see them, come experience them.
You also have to think as old school and traditional as FTR is and always has been. They probably have a lot of respect for Harlem Heat, regardless of what Booker T says.
Mhm.
So even though it's an issue, I think it's like one of the issues on the bottom of the list that some of the other things that we talked about take precedence. Like, where do you hold it?
Mhm.
Is Stevie Ray still able to go? How does FTR fit it into their schedules? Because what do they have? Like 3 separate tag team championships? They are the Kenny Omega of
Yeah.
tag team wrestling right now.
Yeah, they've got
So in between defending the ROH and the AAA and the IWGP tag titles, they're going to have a one-off match with Harlem Heat somewhere. It's a lot of shit to do. Ask Kenny Omega if you can find him.
right.
I miss you, Kenny.
Running around.
I'm just going to come out and say it. I haven't said it in a while. I miss you, Kenny.
I think a lot of people miss
Yeah.
Kenny Omega in the ring.
What's weird with that?
So
Kenny Omega
speaking
versus
of
Kenny Omega.
yeah, right. So speaking of AEW, there's rumors going around that there's some big talks happening behind some closed doors at AEW between Tony Khan and Paige. Wendy, do you think that she'll have a big enough impact to help bring that women's division to the next level, or do you think it's just going to be another face in the crowd?
I feel like it's going to be another face. And it's going to be, I don't think it would be positive or negative impact. I think it would just be kind of like, it's Paige, and let's draw attention to Paige. And, oh, look, it's Paige. Hey, did I mention? Paige is here kind of thing. I think she would better service them in a
Well, now, to be fair, at that point, it would
capacity.
be Soraya.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think she would better serve them in a backstage capacity, helping to better train and teach the girls or the women of AEW. She does have that background, and it's not just
Yeah.
a pretty face that knows how to wrestle. She comes from a legacy family. Like, yeah, they're trashy, but they're a legacy. Like,
they are.
Okay, true. I
they are
mean,
hella fucking trashy.
very
But
true.
but
I want to.
they are a legacy in their own right, and she has that knowledge and experience, and she can bring it into them and be like, let's boost these up so they're not seen as a bathroom break, because they're not. They are legitimate women wrestlers who deserve the opportunity. And maybe this will give the networks the what's the word I'm looking for? This will help boost with the networks, like, these women deserve more airtime.
Give them more time.
Exactly.
No,
Bless you.
I mean,
and those are my 2 cents.
Bless you. I mean, first off, a lot of stuff that Wendy said there was like, I just had that line from Falcon and Winter Soldier in my head. Like, yeah, she's out of line, but she's not wrong. Secondly, I think if you were to bring this woman in, then you would have to immediately cancel all the rumors of, like, even though they're probably not true, all of the Mercedes / Sasha Banks going to AEW bullshit, because those two get along quite unwell. Like, maybe a little better than Crips and Bloods, but not by much.
Well, they could have.
In fact, Sasha was the last one to hurt Paige's neck in a match, so there is also that. So I think you would have to, if you sign her, then you have to wave goodbye to that one. And following up on what Wendy said, as far as piss breaks, you can cancel all that shit. Even if you watch Dynamite or Fyter Fest, I'm sorry, this week, even Anna Jay has come a long fucking way.
Yep.
Like, that division it has so much talent in it that has improved. The standard has the way they are treated has not. So that itself is a crime. Can someone like Paige, Soraya, whatever you want to call her, can she come in and change that? Possibly. Because when you really think about it, Paige was the beginning of the women's revolution in WWE.
Yeah.
Coming in, taking the Divas title on her first night, and then having that back and forth with the Bellas and being the wrestler against the Divas, and then Steph building a team with Charlotte and Sasha around her and everything. That whole revolution was built on her back, which is probably why her neck is fucked up.
Jesus Christ.
But could she do
Not
it
wrong.
again? And the answer is maybe. Again, it's not Stevie Ray, but it's in the same, like, how's her neck? Can she still go? I haven't seen this woman on wrestling television, let alone wrestle, in years.
Yeah.
But she created one revolution, and she brought eyes to a women's division that was, at least at the time, kind of behind the times when you looked over at Impact. Maybe she could do it in AEW too.
Mm-hmm.
It's very possible.
Hey, it's the real Brian. No
There's a
need to
chance.
explain, homie.
What's up,
I know what
Brian?
happened. I'm
We
just
know.
glad
We
you're
know.
okay,
We know,
dude.
brother.
I got some crazy messages. I was worried about you, so I'm just glad you're good, homie. Nice to see you.
Yep.
But yeah, the answer is I don't know, but she's done it before. Like, it may be worth taking a flyer. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think you lose Sasha Banks if they sign Paige. I really don't.
Not well.
Maybe, but to be honest, I don't know if they ever had Sasha Banks. You know, like, this is all dirt sheet shit. And I don't care if it's me or Devin or whatever. We have all said, fuck them dirt sheets.
I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I just looked up at my TV and they're announcing the Viking Raiders coming out, and it's fucking Xavier Woods and Kingston dressed like the fucking Raiders. And Kingston has a pillow in his belly.
Oh my shit.
So it's not the Mark Henry. It's not the Mark Henry fat suit with DX, but it's close. Is what you're saying?
It's close. It's close, and I'm fucking dead right now. The new raid. Get the fuck out, you two. Oh my god. I'm done.
And that was your SmackDown update, courtesy of Top Rope Wrestling Talk. You're welcome.
Right. Right? Because if you're watching here, you're not watching there. We'll give you updates.
We'll update
Thank
you. No
Wendy.
worries. I got
let
y'all.
Let us be your WCW Nitro. If you're watching the other show, this is what happened.
Right. Okay, Wendy, I'm about to as Max Dupree's saying says, titillate your senses with this
okay,
next
at least
topic.
say juices. Thank God. Because every time he says it, I want to puke a little bit. So go ahead.
I actually do puke a little bit, but
next week on Fyter Fest Week 2, we are going to have the opportunity to see a barbed wired everywhere death match between Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho.
So fucking hyped. I cannot wait.
So Dom, well, I'll start with you on this one. What are your thoughts and expectations for this match?
I mean, first and foremost, thank God the Painmaker is back, because I have never been a fan of the Wizard. Like, fuck all that shit.
The Wizard's fucking weird, man.
You can take that Wizard and your tassels and your fireballs and get the fuck out of here. I want the Painmaker, and I'm getting it next week, so I'm happy about that. That's first and foremost.
Tassels and balls. Tassels and balls.
Exactly. I'm not down with that shit. You want tassels and balls? Go to a male strip club. Anyway.
Wow.
As far as this match is concerned, I mean, it is a barbed wire everything. So yes, I'm excited. I definitely am. I will go with I will agree to a statement that my man De Niro made on Circle of Debate last night, which was, I'm hoping this is a actual barbed wire, fuck your ropes, take them down, wrap the entire ring in barbed wire, instead of like with the exploding death match, Mox and Omega, where they just kind of wrapped it around the ropes here and there.
Yeah, they still had explosions, just the ring didn't explode.
That was the point. That was the point. It was,
shit happens.
But yeah, we're not going to go there. I'm just talking about how they actually kept the ropes and they kind of just loosely wrapped some barbed wire around them. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
I want to see Sabu Terry Funk. I want to see barbed wire wrapped around the entire ring, no ropes. I want to watch somebody possibly fillet their bicep and athletic tape that shit up. Like that's what I'm looking for. Okay, I'm looking for that again.
Yeah.
And then I know they're doing this shark cage thing because of Shark Week and Turner and Discovery and everything. I get that. I would only hope that maybe, just maybe, off in the corner of the arena, they put like a nice little shark tank dedicated to Dr. Evil. They just have a shark rolling around with a laser beam on its freaking head. If we're gonna go shark cage, let's take it there. Let's just You want to talk about ratings? You see one of the members of the Jericho Appreciation Society get shot in the ass by a shark with a laser beam on its head. Now we're talking ratings.
Shut up.
So
am I wrong?
Here's the other thing that, you know, it just happened on Wednesday on Dynamite or Fyter Fest, because it wasn't really Dynamite, it was Fyter Fest. The Appreciation Society came on and said they wanted Ortiz, Ruby Riot, and I think Blackpool Combat Club all in a shark cage as well. So we're gonna have 2 shark cages, like. Or are we gonna have one shark? Are we gonna have one big shark cage and have a brawl inside the shark cage while we have a death match?
Are we gonna do?
I would love that.
Are we gonna do like the old NXT War Games where they put all the competitors in a shark cage on either side of the ramp? But we're just gonna take all the clicks and put them in collective shark cages. Like, okay, you guys are cool. You're over here. You guys like each other. You're over here. All right, you two, kill one another. Ding ding. As Brian is saying, that would be
interesting to see.
In Clubber Lang voice, prediction, pain.
Right. Right. No, I think I oh man, this is gonna be a good one. I really do, and I hope this kind of finally ends the Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho feud.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. I wanted to say that. I didn't want to take all the thunder because I've already talked about this a little bit. So thank you.
I think Eddie could move on to another feud. I'd like to see a Wardlow Eddie Kingston feud for the TNT title for a little bit. I think that could make for some good TV, and I don't know. I see Kingston going over. I see him finally going over and getting what he needs, because Chris Jericho can say what he wants, but that man's put him over twice.
Yeah, just let Eddie win in a bloodbath and move the fuck on from this. Because, like, originally I thought blood and guts, this has got to be the end. And then when we got to the end of that match and Claudio gets somebody to tap out before Kingston makes Jericho, my first thought was, oh shit, he's going to be mad at Claudio. My second thought was, oh shit, this whole thing with him and Jericho isn't over. And it should have been.
Yeah.
And then we've just kept it going, and it feels like an AEW rivalry doesn't stop until somebody goes on the shelf.
Yeah.
or in MJF's case, takes his ball and goes home.
Eat a dick.
Right off.
Eat a dick.
I couldn't help myself. I had to do it.
Not wrong.
Go fuck yourself.
That's how you know I love you, Brucey. I bust balls.
So, Wendy, you got any more comments, thoughts, issues that you want to talk about with this death match?
I mean, I do agree. I feel like the Kingston Jericho rivalry. Sorry, I'm like inhaling pot roast right now.
It's okay.
The Jericho Kingston rivalry. I agree. I do hope this puts it to rest. I've had enough of it. We can move on.
Okay, it's unanimous. Yay.
Yeah, no, totally agree with that. But I think it's going to definitely be a great match. I'm here for the violence. The violence and the blood. Satiate my bloodlust. Like,
exactly.
We know.
That's my 2 cents.
I'm gonna sit back, enjoy this match, and have Bingo Hall PTSD.
Oh my God, yes, 1,000%.
Let it begin.
All right. So moving on to our next segment / topic. It's called "Who's Got My Pockets?" Because
A story.
if you guys watch Dynamite, and I know quite a few people did, we actually saw Wardlow rip the pockets out of Cassidy's pants. Even Will Ospreay tried.
Bro, that shit was fucking hysterical.
Tried, unsuccessful, and then Wardlow succeeded, and it was fucking hilarious.
Well, now, I can't really say Will Ospreay was unsuccessful because comedy came out of Will Ospreay's actions. Just I didn't know that was in there. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
But Wardlow is a different beast, and pun intended. Because when you look at Will Ospreay, you look at Wardlow, you see two totally different men. So he couldn't have pulled that like comedic, funny kind of thing in the middle of a match. He's got to tear your fucking pockets out.
Yeah. Now, I've seen a lot of comments in other groups and other pages, and I even think there was something brought up in our group. People are having a problem with Wardlow, or should I say Orange Cassidy giving Wardlow a match. I think one post I saw on Facebook said, "Oh, Wardlow can beat up 20 security guards, but he has a hard time with Orange Cassidy."
Yeah, because Orange Cassidy can actually wrestle.
Yeah,
right?
and
wouldn't Orange Cassidy be the equivalent of like 200 security guards if we're being real?
Well, that's exaggerating. I'd say like about 100.
Here's the thing: all these people that are bitching about Orange Cassidy giving Wardlow a match they didn't pay attention to what was actually going on there.
No,
They were
there was a chainsaw, y'all.
Tony Khan, Wardlow, and Orange Cassidy showed the world that Wardlow can actually wrestle. He's just not a one move wrestler. He's not just a power bomb fucking king. Yeah. No,
because y'all don't want to go to YouTube and look him up.
You know what Tony Khan and Wardlow were trying to prove in this match with Orange Cassidy? That Wardlow is more of Brock Lesnar than Goldberg. He's not going to come out. He's not going to squash you in 2 minutes every week. If he gets an opponent.
The F10? Come on. What the fuck? Come on, guys.
Before. That was his original finisher.
Get creative.
I know. I'm talking about the name.
This is terrible.
I'm talking about the name.
It's been called the F10. The point
I laughed back
is,
then,
it's still
too.
dumb as hell.
Okay, maybe a little bit, but still, the point is, if he's got a guy in the ring like Orange Cassidy, who has beaten Jericho and gone toe to toe with everyone in AEW, including Lance Archer, who is not a small guy, why would he just squash him? And if you think back to the original Brock run, when he faced a guy like Matt Hardy, could he beat him in 2 seconds? Yes. Did he fuck around and toy with him and let Matt get some offense in to prove that he could take a beating and he could work and do whatever else? He also did that. And that was the whole point. They're trying to take people's perceptions of this is the next Goldberg and change it to this is the next Brock. He's not just a one-hit wonder, 2-minute warrior, undefeated, streaky son of a bitch. This man is a beast.
Yeah.
And if squashing 20 security guards doesn't do that and makes you look like Goldberg, then we'll do something like this to prove otherwise. It was actually kind of smart.
Absolutely.
And people shit on it anyway.
Was. Yeah.
And this is why we say on many occasions throughout the years, wrestling fans, a little fickle.
Very fickle. I think it definitely makes up
for
the
complaints were, why does Wardlow squash everybody? MJF, he squashed him. Sean Spears, he squashed him. The security guards, he squashed him. Okay, so he comes out and he has a tremendous match with Orange Cassidy. And what do? Complain.
It definitely made up for that like shit-ass 20-man civil lawsuit match.
By far.
Yeah.
That didn't need to happen. That was just...
Yeah, fuck no.
That was just probably on-the-spot booking because everybody was on the shelf. Let's be real.
Yeah, speaking of on the shelf, good segue, Dom. Damn, you got the
Nice
rundown.
job.
You actually have the rundown up in front of you.
I don't. But I read
That
it.
was-
It's in my psychotic brain. I know where we're going. I've done this for a minute. I've learned.
So moving on, so there's word on the street that Matt Jackson is injured, and that played a role in the decision Wednesday night, which was probably one of the best decisions made. I mean, they couldn't have AEW couldn't have went wrong with either team if either team won. But Keith Lee and Swerve as the tag champs, I think is friggin' amazing. I feel like it'll shut people up now saying how they're misusing Keith Lee and Swerve. But here's the thing: is some of those people and people in that majority says, "Let it play out. Let it play out." Well, you guys are criticizing AEW with Keith Lee and Swerve. Why didn't you let it play out? Now look, they're AEW tag team champions, but now they're bitching about it because they're former WWE guys holding the tag titles. Like,
wasn't Swerve at WWE long enough for like a cup of coffee, and then he was like, "I'm out."
I mean,
yeah.
If you think about it, in NXT, these guys were a big deal. Keith Lee more than Swerve, but they were both predominantly a big deal when they were in their runs in NXT. When they got to the main roster, they were not. They were practically non-existent. I think Hit Row spent a collective 3 weeks on the main roster, and these were the guys that I was saying you can't miss with.
Yep.
And so, when you think about it, are they? I know technically they were there, but are they WWE guys? Like, if Bruce and Wendy and I sneak into catering at a Raw taping, does that make us WWE guys? Because that's the equivalent.
Pretty much.
So, Wendy, I want your opinion and how you feel on Swerve and Our Glory as the new AEW Tag Team Champions. Do you think they should be, and do you think they deserve it?
I like where they're going with it, storyline wise, because there's that whole like, will Swerve betray him? Will he not? And having the title kind of adds that element of like, okay, he will. Now it's just a question of when. So I kind of like that. I do appreciate that a little bit. Do they deserve it? Honestly, I don't think so. I think there's other tag teams that have proven themselves time and time again that most definitely should have gotten the title over them. If it's the group that was in the ring that night, I'm going to say Hobbs and Starks probably should have gotten it instead, but that's just me. I'm partial to Starks and Snaggletooth. What can I say?
Snaggletooth.
Snaggletooth Hobbs. He's got them janky ass teeth. I can't talk. I mean, I can't. I have janky ass teeth, so I see him.
I can't talk
and
because I have no teeth.
I witness his like janky ass teeth, and I'm like, that is my janky ass tooth brother. We are janky ass teeth.
Wow.
It's better than anything I have, so you guys are.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm on the fence about them having it. I just want to see where it goes and when the betrayal happens, I guess. So that's my 2 cents on that, and that's
Fair.
what I got to say about that.
Bump bump.
All right, Dom. What do you got for us? What are your thoughts and feelings on Swerve and Our Glory as the new AEW Tag Champs?
Right. Again, this, from what I was reading after the match, kind of felt like one of those decisions on the fly because it looks like Matt Jackson is hurt. And this was after a course correction because we figured the Hardys would end up winning the ladder match, and then clearly that didn't happen, so they went with the Bucks. Matt Jackson gets hurt. They change on the fly, and we've got Swerve and Our Glory. I'm fine with it. It continues the rivalry between them, Hobbs, and Starks, which has been pretty damn good to this point and still unfinished. And it also leaves, as Wendy said, the question of whether or not Swerve will actually swerve Keith, which is actually a question. It's an if, As opposed to like Jurassic Express, we all sat here for months going, when is Christian gonna swerve Jungle Boy? Like we saw it coming from a mile away. This one now becomes a little murkier because they seem to have gotten on the same page. They're champions. Maybe they squash it, or maybe we get the swerve later down the line. We almost got it in the match, if you recall. Swerve picked up that AEW belt, turned and looked at Keith Lee like, I should just crack this sumbitch right now. And then he turned and he hit somebody else.
Yeah.
So at least they're leaving the mystery in it. Whereas with Christian, you saw it coming long before it happened.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So either it's dumb luck or they learned something. You pick. I am considering, the people involved in this match, and if the injury is legit, you had two choices. You picked one. You couldn't go wrong either way. Like, okay, maybe did Hobbs and Starks deserve it a little bit more? Yes, if you want to talk longevity, but nobody was complaining, or not complaining as loudly or as much on social media about the way Hobbs and Starks were being used in comparison to Keith Lee and Swerve. So it was, well, we could give it to these guys, but if we give it to Swerve in our glory, that might shut somebody the fuck up. It won't, but at least you see the logic.
Yeah, no, because then they'll find a way to twist that and make it look bad.
Because again, fickle. I wish I had the Daniel Bryan sound clip. Fickle.
So, we mentioned WWE because, Lee and Swerve were there for a cup of tea. There is a rumor that WWE is no longer going to be PG. They're going, actually, it's only Monday Night Raw that is going to a TV mature rating. So,
well, again,
PG-14,
it felt weird that day because we got the announcement WWE is going to be TV 14, and then not 12 hours later there were reports saying
that it's a later date. It's going to be at a later date,
and then those reports came out after that eventually, and you're like, I feel like this is so Shakespearean. It's like, to be or not to be PG. What the fuck is going on?
what I want to know is it gonna work, and what's not PG to them?
Yeah.
What do they consider not PG anymore? Because they've been PG for so long,
and they've come up with some shit that you think is not PG. Like you're not gonna be say watching a kids movie and hear like Mater call Lightning McQueen a son of a bitch 6 times in a segment. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There are some questionable lingo, and maybe that's why they decided like we're just gonna say fuck it and go back to hitting puberty for the first time since 2008. But like they've already been doing that. So I mean, the first thing that came to my mind was Cody Rhodes probably went from having his rehab treatment to doing cartwheels once he actually found out he could bleed again, because it's TV 14 and you're allowed.
I can say shit again.
And let's be honest, long before Liberty was born, Cody used to bleed more than a month than Brandy. Can we be just a buck?
Oh my god, yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Someone get this man like a tampon for that forehead.
Man-pons.
Yeah.
For the blading son of a bitch you married. Man-pons. I know, now we're TV 14. If you want to be real, we've been MA since Jump. So
since like day one.
Yeah. But I mean, when it all boils down to it, I guess this is another one that you got to wait for. Like, yeah, maybe it's Raw, but not SmackDown. But at the same time, a lot of Fox programming gets away with some shit on network television.
Oh yeah.
like saying that word on network television. I know most of it is on FX, but it's still fucking Fox. So if Raw ends up becoming TV 14, I gotta think SmackDown's not far behind.
Yeah, I could see that.
For me, it's a wait and see thing. See what they let get by. I honestly have no faith in the E anymore, and I don't believe them when they say things like this. And I'm like, okay, sure, Jan. We'll just wait and see what you allow and don't allow.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, if it works, hell yeah. Maybe I'll start watching again.
Maybe. That's a big maybe.
Maybe. That's a big maybe. We'll see.
I mean, even if it happens, I wouldn't expect something like, Corey and
barbed
Carmella
wire death match.
doing like a Edge and Lita live sex show in the middle of the ring like they did in the Attitude Era. Like that's regardless of that is not coming back. Like that's just not going to happen. I'm sorry.
So
we are done with the Attitude Era, no matter what.
Yeah. Well, they're at that.
I mean, maybe now Pan Blanco can actually have more to say now. Because if you listen to his podcast, it's like, oofed up, Pan Blanco. Like, someone needs soap.
Yeah. He definitely. Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I like him.
He's definitely a good dude when he comes to what he says on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's got to be one of the reasons I like him, though. Absolutely, positively. Like, Pat McAfee is as filthy as we are, and I dig that.
Did you see the video of like the kid who called in and was like, he was like 8 years old, and Pat McAfee's like, "You're too young to be listening to the show. Like, you shouldn't even be calling in." Blah blah blah. And he's like, "No, Pat, I just want to say, Mr. McAfee, you're so inspiring, and like, I love watching your show." Blah blah blah. He's like, "Oh, great! Like, I'm really glad. I really appreciate that. Before we hang up, do you have anything else to say?" And the kid's like, "Yeah, I have one more thing to say. Fuck the Patriots."
What the fuck?
The kid was like 8 fucking years old. I died. I was like, bro, what?
That's crazy.
Fuck
So
the Patriots.
So Jim Ross is kind of making headlines and making waves, and it's not that he's mad, but he's talking about the All Atlantic Championship, the new title that Pac holds in AEW. So I my understanding for this title is not for it to be defended on Dynamite and Rampage all the time. It's to actually be like for the champion to go to other shows and defend the title on other shows across overseas to give these other promotions a little boost and to help them out. So that's my understanding of the title. But Jim Ross goes on to say, "I didn't understand that." He's talking about creating the All Atlantic title, but it doesn't matter what I understand. I'm not against it, but we need it? I don't know that we needed it, but I also don't know how big of an asset it's going to be internationally for us. So, what are your guys' thoughts on what Jim has to say here? Wendy, what are your thoughts?
I appreciate how mature he was about it, and just like, like, it's not for me to understand. Like, these are just my opinions. Like, I appreciate that. But also, like, I think it'll definitely be a good boost for them, because it would open doors with other promotions, because it becomes this networking tool where it's like, hey, we have this, we want to work with you. This is just opening the door. What else can we do now? So I think it's definitely a good idea. I think it's, like I said, a great networking tool for AEW and other promotions. And much like Booker T fighting FTR on his promotion, it brings attention to these other people. And it's not just like, the owner, it's everybody that's on there. And it's like, hey, look at these other wrestlers. And it further opens up the global idea that there's more than just 2 promotions in the world. It's more than just WWE and AEW. Yep. So many other independent promotions exist. So many other regional things are happening. Go watch them. Go experience them. But that's my thoughts.
Tom?
Them's my 2 cents.
Tom, what are your thoughts?
Jim went on, I know you touched on it a little bit to say, like, yeah, I don't understand it, but it's not my job to understand. I know Pac's the champion. He's going to take it places, and everywhere I go, I run into people from somewhere in the UK saying, hey, when are you coming here? When are you coming there? Or whatever. And Tony has lots of business partners there. So there could be some big deals in the works. Now, in order to drum up that business, why not let Pac take it to a place like Rev Pro, where he's worked, and defend his title against a guy like Shota, who we saw at Forbidden Door, who is clearly on the rise and kind of an amazing young talent, in front of those. I don't know if anybody watched that match when they put it on Dark, but I did. And that Rev Pro crowd, holy shit.
Crazy.
Yeah.
They are like the British ECW crowd. They are fucking nuts. They are a character all on their own. Shout out to those guys. Like, seriously, they were off the chain. So when you're building up that kind of buzz with Pac over there in these other promotions, it's only going to make somebody who, as Jim said, is one of Tony's business contacts, get in touch with Tony and say, hey, we want you to come to this stadium. And on this day, we're going to give you this much money. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And that can only benefit. Well, I mean, it benefits AEW and it benefits the fans over there too, because they've been asking for it. They're starting to get it in bits and pieces. If they get it down the line, look how big SummerSlam was in Wembley in the early 90s. It was one of the first times the WWE held a major pay-per-view over there. And the crowd packed that goddamn stadium, standing room only.
Yep.
Now, can AEW do the same thing? Maybe. But they're not going to do it unless they can actually, like, drum up some buzz and drum up some support. So why not have Pac travel to a couple of different promotions or places in the United Kingdom with this belt and try to create that interest? Because technically he's already there. He has to come here to fight on AEW television. He's there to begin with.
That's true.
So have you got you Dom, you said you saw the match.
Yes.
Wendy, have you had a chance to see the match
yet?
No,
not yet.
So that chant that they were doing for Pac, oh, he's the bastard.
He's a bastard. He's a bastard. He's a bastard.
Why the fuck can't the American friggin' fans do that? You know how crazy that would be when he came out with a stadium full singing that? Like,
there is nothing in the world like a British crowd. You think Philly's fucking wild. British chants are the fucking craziest shit. Just watch a soccer match. Watch fucking soccer and the chants those guys have. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with these people?
I was going to say, in general, like, British or not, soccer hooligans are a whole other level. Like,
a whole other beast.
Wrestling fans, football fans, you name it, soccer hooligans have them beat. And a lot of those people go to Rev Pro shows. And so a lot of those soccer hooligan chants turn into wrestling soccer hooligan chants.
Wrestling soccer hooligans.
And that's what you got in that Rev Pro crowd with the he's a bastard, that sort of thing. It was fucking amazing, to be honest. Like, the match itself was great, but that crowd added a whole other level to it, and I loved every second.
Yeah.
And so if they can continue to get that kind of buzz going, eventually we're going to have some type of show, some type of pay-per-view, some type of whatever in the UK. And that can only help push AEW a little bit further into the international spotlight and, grow their fan base, is what I was trying to say. And then somehow my head cold kicked in. I apologize.
And then words happened.
Whoa. Oh, right. Yeah.
Words.
All right. So
moving on.
Yes,
rolling right along, folks.
Rolling right along because we are flying through this freaking rundown, and honestly, I'm not mad about that because I'm freaking exhausted. So,
I feel you, brother.
So I haven't watched all of Raw. I started it and then I had to stop and I got caught up doing other stuff. But I did I did watch because I wanted to see what actually happened with Dolph when he showed back up and stuff like this, just because I didn't want to talk about it and not actually see what happened
I saw a
know what
clip, so I'm
happened.
not fully informed. What happened there?
So basically, before the tag match at on Raw with Seth Rollins and Theory versus Riddle and Bobby Lashley. He had come back and he was just basically sitting ringside watching the match, and then towards the end, Theory went for a roll-up win on Riddle, and he put his feet on the ropes, and Ziggler knocked his feet off the ropes, and Theory got mad. Then I believe Riddle hit him with an RKO and got the win.
Yep.
And then Dolph just comes in the ring and super kicks Theory, and all of a sudden he's a babyface. He wasn't acting like a babyface. He didn't have the look of a babyface.
Yeah. So that happened
when he stood over Austin Theory. But I get it in theory, pun intended, that Austin Theory or Theory. That's a lot of theories. Thank you.
A lot of theories, bro.
Well,
right. Is a heel, so I guess everyone's just going on, the
I mean, I thought that was understood.
Basic. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's one of those understood things.
Well, yeah.
I feel like
Theory and everybody hates him anyway, so it's like let's add to it.
Yeah. So it's like this was Dolph Ziggler hasn't been around in fucking months. I mean months.
Has he been out injured?
I don't know if he's been injured or if he was out doing a comedy tour or what. I don't know. But he hasn't been on WWE TV in months. Now all of a sudden, like,
he's
Vince
just here.
Is like,
he's just back.
Vince gets on the phone and goes, "Hey Dolph, I need you to put Theory over. Get back here." And the fucking
we need you to work with Theory.
I love the New York accent you gave him.
Thank you. Because
it'll be an attraction.
He's a douchebag, and
you really fucking it. I get it. Fucking New Yorkers.
Yes.
It'll be such good shit. Hit him with a super kick.
He basically brought Dolph in to be the gatekeeper / put Austin Theory over, and then go back to mediocrity in the middle of the card.
Which, at this point, makes little to no sense to me, because, like, as you had alluded to, the last time I remember seeing Dolph Ziggler anywhere, he was losing the NXT title to Braun Breaker, which was months ago. And then you do the whole storyline with Bobby, and Bobby takes his title, but he takes the Money in the Bank, and then you bring Dolph Ziggler in. I feel like this is backwards. I feel like you should have used Ziggler first, and then came back with the Bobby story, and then had him win the Money in the Bank. I don't know where they're going with this particular turn of events. Like, what is Dolph Ziggler going to challenge him for the case between now and SummerSlam, or are they just like? What are we getting at with this?
I hope not.
Like, I'm not trying to bash WWE, because I watched Raw after the fact, and I saw what happened, and I'm not saying and it was to a point enjoyable, but then when it was over, I was sitting there scratching my head, going like, wait, isn't this reversed? Like, shouldn't you have brought Dolph in and then done Bobby and then done Money in the Bank and then move forward? This Dolph came shortly after the beginning of Raw, when Theory came out, interrupted Paul and Brock going back and forth about SummerSlam, and tried to get Alpha Academy to jump Brock because he could soften them up, a month before the pay-per-view. And all Brock does is basically destroy the entire Alpha Academy. Yeah. Which, again, doesn't give me a whole lot of belief in Theory. And it certainly didn't help at the end of the night when he's taking a super kick from Dolph Ziggler. This is how you build a star. His plans backfired. He ends up laid out at the end of Raw by a guy we haven't seen in months, who hasn't done anything on WWE TV in
a hot ass minute,
almost a year.
Oh shit! It's been that long.
That's how you build a star. Well, if you take the NXT stuff out and you go back, like maybe the Dirty Dogs were involved in the title picture when or tag team title picture when the Street Profits had the championship.
Does Robert Roode even work for WWE anymore?
As far as I know, yes. I haven't seen him. Again, I haven't seen him
Waste of talent.
Since he was in your house on the outside of the ring when Dolph retained the title against Braun Breaker, only to lose it on NXT a couple of days later. And that was probably the last time I watched NXT as well. So, you can put 2 and 2 together there, but I just don't understand it. I'm not saying it came off well, but at the end, I'm like, why are we doing this? How is this building a star is the bigger question. Because everybody's pointed to Austin Theory and said, hey, remember everybody said WWE doesn't build stars.
They didn't build Austin Theory. Austin Theory was built before he got there.
Well, then they built Theory. In theory, again.
They're trying to rebuild him and mold him to fit the WWE specifications.
Yeah.
But this is how you build a star. He loses his title. Then he gets thrown into a Money in the Bank match, happens to win, then turns around, tries to jump one of the opponents he's going to cash in on, backfires, then loses a match in the main event, and gets super kicked by Dolph Ziggler. That's how you build a star. Is it just me, or is that how you build a fucking jobber?
Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing. I didn't even look at it that way. I was just like, what the fuck is Dolph doing there? Then I realized, oh, yeah, he's the one that always puts over all the young talent.
Yeah.
Right, I know he's the enhancement guy. He's been that since AJ and the artist formerly known as Dean all the way through Kofi. But
most of his current career has been that.
He's been gone. No word, no nothing. All of a sudden pops back up at the end of the night after Theory's had a shitty night, makes it even shittier. This is how we build a star. Well, you got to tell me where you're going with this, WWE, because I don't get it.
Make it make sense, y'all.
Well,
I mean, honestly, even not having watched it and listening to it now, it doesn't make any fucking sense. And I'm like, where are we going with him? What is our end game here? Are we building him up to be a potential challenger against Roman Reigns for this title, which he's not going to win? Because honestly,
I'm literally sitting here going, you know what, WWE, I want to ride with you. I've been on the ride since the mid '80s. I want to keep going, but at this point,
you're
doing this to Austin Theory, and then to this point, Liv Morgan still doesn't have side plates, and Money in the Bank was 2 weeks ago. You're not helping.
Yeah. You're 100% right on that one, my friend. You are 100% right on that.
Because even last week when you said convince me to watch Money in the Bank, it turned into convince us because I was the only one that watched it. I am watching this shit. I am trying, WWE. Help me.
Speak of the devil, Austin Theory's about to have a match right now.
Oh boy.
Oh, nice. So with all of that being said, we're gonna bring this show to an end because that was the end of the rundown and the end of the road for this week. A very long and trying week.
Yeah, it was for all of us.
Very long and in my case, ill week.
Yes. Yes. So here we go. You can find us one place. Hold on. Two places, one name. Fuck, I screwed that shit all up.
Yeah, the fuck you did, brother.
Listen, you can find us on Facebook at 2 places with one name. That name is Top Rope Wrestling Talk. You can find us in our group. That is where we talk shit. That's where we have fun. We do our threads. We do our forums and memes and whatever, anything else wrestling related that you want to talk about. Then you can find us on our page. It's Top Rope Wrestling Talk as well. That's where we have all our show content, and that's where we put our clips and everything. Then you can also find us on Twitter at Top Rope WT, as it goes along the bottom of the screen right now. And you can also find us on Instagram with the PWI award-winning worst Instagram handle ever.
The worst.
It's a rough ass handle, y'all.
The worst.
And this handle is at top_rope_wrestling_talk. That's a mouthful.
Oh God, it's exhausting.
Hey Wendy.
I want a nap.
Yeah,
now.
Bruce.
Wendy.
Bruce.
Wendy.
Bruce.
I get it.
Tell everyone where you can hear us. Yes. Thank you. Tell everyone where they can listen to us.
You can hear us on anchor.fm/TRWT. From there, you can hear us wherever podcasts are available. So you can catch us on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, all over the place. You can also find us on YouTube's as we are TRWT, open parentheses, A Foxden Joan, JAWN, close parentheses. I cheated. I had it open.
I was just about to give you a
Suckers.
round of applause. I was like, she membered.
Suckers. So you can check us out on the YouTubes. Set it up so you get a notification when we are live en vivo. Bruce, you understand what that means now, right? En vivo.
I don't think I've heard that one yet.
Live. That means we're live. Now you know. In case y'all don't know, Brucey's taking Spanish classes at work.
Yeah.
On the
Against his
job
will.
training, basically.
Yes, on
More
the
or
job
less.
training.
Dom! Hey, Dom.
Wendy.
Tell me, Dom.
Yes, Wendy.
Where can I find a oh so lovely shirt? Where can I find a good gift for my older brother for his birthday?
Oh, that's easy. Just go to trwtmerch.threadless.com. You will see all our logos. When you click those logos, you will see everything they come on, which is a vast fucking selection, to be honest. I usually go through it. My throat is fucking killing me, y'all. But trust me, go to trwtmerch.threadless.com. Check out everything we have to offer. International shipping for all our fans worldwide. Buy yours today and help us put a little gas in our tank, will you?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, please do.
Well,
Although I think out of the three of us, I'm like the one who has the smallest gas tank and the smallest bill, running around in a tiny ass Honda Fit, you know.
Yeah, mine's close,
So-
but we'll compare them after the show.
So
Hey,
help these guys with their gas money.
hey, Wendy,
Yeah, Bruce.
say it.
Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Dom?
Stay safe, Wastelanders, and enjoy wrestling. If it's not your cup of tea, let somebody else drink it.
Deuces, bitches.
There it is.